Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Darren Travis, and welcome back to another episode of Knicksatnitetv. As you can see on the screen, we got a special guest in the building. We're about to go back down memory lane with my boy. Go ahead, you want to introduce yourself?
What's going on, man? This is Quincy Douby, Brooklyn, New York, radio person. You already know, over here, channel my man, Darren.
All right, man. Hope y'all ready for some exciting stories. My man here, Quincy Douby.
New York Knicks, we back. Spotting up for the three, or quick pass behind your back. Block your man out the paint when you crash the balls. 5 seconds on the clock, so it's time to score. You better step up your game. There's no bigger place than the Garden. You officially on the biggest stage. Hit him with the cross or the fade away. Let him know it's not a game that you came to play. It's time to rep for the city. New York is the Mecca. Anybody come in our house, you gotta check them. Can't forget legends like Walt or King. PE in the paint or starts from 3. Melo had the Garden rocking when he joined the team. The future looking right for our next regime. With our 2 cornerstones, RJ and Mitch, watching Knicks at night. New York Knicks. I keep hearing New York that and New York this. Nobody run New York.
All right, Quincy, my man, what's up, my brother? How's everything going, bro?
Good, man. Chilling in Miami. Just all I've been doing, just spending a lot of family and businesses I got out.
Right. That's good. That's good to hear, bro. So, Knicksatnitetv here, we like to, give flowers to, players that was, raised up in New York, born, raised, and did their thing in the basketball community, street ball, whether it's street ball, high school, NBA, overseas, you know what I'm saying? And you definitely one of the legends, you know what I'm saying, in New York City. You know, your name ring bells, as far as the basketball community. And we just would like to get a little started about how you started playing basketball and what made you, wanted to play basketball growing up in New York City.
Yeah, I started playing ball, you know what I mean? My parents, they were Haitian. They came out here, in the late 70s. And then, they and my siblings, like in the 80s. I was born 84. I wasn't really into sports. My parents were more into school, and, my parents like soccer. Mm-hmm. So, I was born in Flat, but when I was 7, we moved to Coney Island. Basketball court on every spot. So that's where I got my love for basketball. Mm-hmm. Moving to Coney Island and seeing sports and seeing kids playing on the court. So I always told myself, like, I'm going to try to get on there and see what's that all about. When I finally got my opportunity, I wasn't good, but, the more and more I was playing, the more I was playing outside with my competition. I became, hungry and work.
Right, facts. Yeah, that's cool, man. It's like your stories are similar to mine. Like I said, I grew up in East Flatbush also, and I didn't play basketball right away. I was playing football. But like you said, in Brooklyn, there's basketball courts all over the place. So it was easier to go to a basketball court and play than to get like 10, 11 dudes to play football, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just start playing ball, and like you said, you get better and better. So, as you started getting better in basketball, did you start playing with any certain coaches, any AAU teams? Like, what happened after that?
Yeah, I started playing AAU real late. My junior year, I got on the AAU team. But, I was fortunate to meet a guy named Tippy. Mm-hmm. Named James. Tippy opened the gym for us and allowed us to work on our games and play each other better. So, me and Tip was very vital for my career. Being from Coney Island, Brooklyn, if he wasn't at Lincoln, he was really at nurture. You know what I mean? Your game.
Facts.
Me finding Tip, I was able to use him and his facility to get my game better. When opportunity presented, the platform was there. I was always prepared. I was ready. That was a big help.
Right. So that's actually where we met at. You know, he's talking about the legendary Coach Tippy. We used to work out in the Bedford-Stuyvesant YMCA. It's a YMCA in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, New York. And Tippy was a good dude, man. Like he took like all the local talent in Brooklyn and all over New York City. He brought them to this gym. And it's crazy because, let me tell you, I'm just trying to explain a little bit further. It's like we all kind of went to different high schools. Like, you know what I'm saying? Me and my crew, we went to South Shore. And then, you know, Quincy, of course, went to Grady with Jerome and Woody, Sioux Front, and the rest of them. And then you had people that went to Paul Robeson. Then you had people that went to Boys and Girls. And we all, after school, we would just go to the YMCA and all work in our game. And we had our little cliques and everything like that. You know, you had the Grady clique, you had the South Shore clique, and we would just get it in. It was like war. Tell them some stories.
Yeah. Man, them games, everybody be ready to slow. You know, everybody went back down. Was, you know, nobody came in there and saw everything. And, you know, you could see the tough one compared to the other ones because, like, you, Jerome, you know, a lot of you guys kept coming back.
Right.
But the other guys couldn't keep up. You know, they didn't show up because it was really intense.
Right. Facts. Yeah. So like and then it was like, you know, you had certain guys from certain schools who would try to bully all the other dudes. You know what I'm saying? So then they would be there with their whole clique, and then dudes would not want to come back. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It took toughness to come here. Like you said, you all the way from Coney Island. I'm all the way from East Flatbush. You know, my school was in Canarsie. So then my clique is like in Canarsie and East Flatbush. Your clique is probably in Coney Island and Flatbush. And we in Bed-Stuy. You know, Paul Robeson is right there. Boys and Girls is right there. So if we get in a little scuffle after we finish working out, they could be waiting outside for us. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't care. We went there, we bust their ass, we did what we had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right. The love for the game was more important than, you know, getting a couple fist fights.
Right.
Love that. But we always gonna have fun.
Right. And that was a great time. And then Tip, you know what I'm saying, he would take dudes and put them on in the high school circuit as far as like summer tournaments or tournaments. Or he had junior colleges, 4-year colleges, and he used to help all the kids out, man, whether it be school, putting them in tournaments or exposure camps. You know, so Tip played a big part in all of our lives, you know, and I'm very grateful for that, and I know you are too. Jerome likes to always call him his father, because he kind of, you know, he put us on and developed our skills and kind of raised us, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah.
So we had wars in there, man, and it developed you. And I just wanted to say, like, one of the best shooters, and you know what I'm saying, in Brooklyn history, Bedford, YMCA history. My man Quincy Douby used to let it go. I mean, if y'all kids now today, y'all guys know about Stephen Curry, but this is no cap at all. Before there was Stephen Curry, there was Quincy Douby. My man was pulling from like half during high school games, hitting like 14, 15 threes on dudes. Like, everybody praises Steph Curry right now, but you was doing that in high school. Once you develop your game with Tippy and with your coach in high school, it was like you was unstoppable. So talk about, you know, growing up in the hood and, you know, trying to stay out of trouble. Yeah, like being in Brooklyn, bro, you know, in our era when we was growing up, like, I seen a lot of my homies, you know, pass away or get into trouble because, you know, Bloods and Crips was just coming up in New York City when we was growing up. So a lot of dudes was either Blood or Crip, or like even going to South Shore, you know, people was getting their face cut going to school or try to get guns in school, dealing drugs, doing whatever. And I'm sure, you know, you going to Grady, you know, like you said, you had dudes from Lincoln, then you had Sheepshead Bay, you know, so I'm sure, you know, there was a lot of trouble going on, but basketball was one of the things that kept you from, I'm sure they try to recruit you also probably to be in gangs and stuff like that, because that's just how the neighborhood is, you know?
Yeah, you know, that's how it is sometimes. And, you know, sometimes you do dibble and dabble with it a little bit, and then once you notice things is going left, a couple of your guys, you see, you know, lives just is over in a flash of a minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You think twice. You like, nah, let me I'm good at basketball. Like, let me try to make something. Try to make something out of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was one of one of the reasons why I put so much work in, because I wanted to make a better life for myself, make a better life for my family.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So,
and then in the neighborhood when dudes see you doing that, they respect that. You get the basketball pass. Oh, that's Quincy, or that's Darren. Like, he play ball. Like, he doing something with something. Leave him alone. Let him rock. You know what I'm saying? So you always get the athletes always get the pass in the hood. You know what I'm saying? So So let's talk about some of your biggest games in Grady. Was there any rivalries in high school that you had going against anybody that you was like, yo, I can't wait to this matchup. He be talking mad junk. I'm about to light his ass up.
I mean, all the top teams, like, Robeson, Lincoln, boys and girls,
Mm-hmm.
I always have my best games against the best teams. You know what I mean? That's when I was more motivated and, wanted to show that I could play with these guys, play against these top kids, in New York. So, we had a big rival. Lincoln was 2 blocks away from us.
Yeah.
So anytime Lincoln versus Grady, like, it's a packed house. Like, so those games, I always had great games. I remember one game, my junior year, my first year on Grady, I hit a buzzer beater. We was playing. I'm telling you, it gets so packed that they had to get rent St. John's gym to fill it up,
Yeah.
So we played them in St. John's, regular season school game. And we wound up I hit a buzzer beater to beat them. So that was our rivalry school. That was like one of the best schools, ever in New York City, Lincoln, with some of the talent they had over there. So then Gary Irvin with Robeson.
Mm-hmm.
Gary Irvin, me and Gary Irvin was backcourt teammates with Riverside Church.
Oh.
So, me and Gary had a real good relationship. And we played in a lot of hood tournaments together. We had a coach named James. I don't know if you met James. He used to come to the Y.
Mm-hmm.
They call him Big Head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we used to play with him together. So, Gary Irvin was somebody that, I had a lot of respect for. So, when we played against him, I try to bring my all against him.
Facts. That's facts. That's what's up. Yeah, Gary Irvin, man. He used to come to the Y too. So like I said, you played with him.
Yeah.
You used to train with him in the Y, and then was your high school rivalry. That's crazy. So yeah, boys. So I'm gonna try to get Gary on here next. I be talking to him all the time. So maybe y'all could have some stories about how I used to go in high school, stuff like that. So. At Grady, did y'all ever get to like the championship with you there, like state finals?
My first year on Grady, my junior year, we won the championship.
Mm-hmm.
It was me, Woody Soufront, Taekwon Good,
Mm-hmm.
Jerome Richardson, Mike Clark. We had one of the best teams in the city that year. And it was us versus Robeson in Madison Square Garden, and we wound up winning. I think we won by like 12, 11 or something like that.
All right.
But it was a good game. We made it to the state. We wound up losing to Schenectady High School, a school upstate New York.
Right.
We should have won that game, but they had the home court advantage, and they made a tough play at the end, getting the steal and laying it up. Making us lose by 2 points. So. That was a great experience, winning the city championship, playing in Madison Square Garden as a high school player. That was just every time I got to experience stuff like that, it was just more motivation to continue to get better and stay in the gym and make more stuff happen. So, that was a beautiful experience, man.
Yeah, definitely. I could only imagine, like, just like you said, going from playing soccer to picking up basketball late, and next thing you know, you're on the floor at Madison Square Garden, you know what I'm saying, where you watch the Knicks play.
Yeah.
So, when you was growing up at that time, like, did you watch, like, Knicks games and stuff like that? Like, was any of your favorite players on the Knicks?
Absolutely, man. I used to love watching the Knicks game. John Starks was one of my favorite players on the Knicks. Patrick Ewing, legend. Yeah. Oakley, he brought that toughness, but I used to love Charlie Ward, Chris Childs. Had some, pretty solid guards, and I used to watch them and try to emulate some of their games.
Facts. Yeah, and just being from Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy because the reason why the Knicks gravitate, I mean, not only being from New York, but the reason why Knicks would gravitate towards us is because, I mean, no disrespect to any other borough, right? But growing up in Brooklyn, we always was taught to play defense and be tough and grinding out. So, you know, even with playing with Tip, we full court trapping, playing, like, you can't get on the floor. You can't get on the floor if you don't play defense. And that's one thing that like the Knicks represented back then with Oakley, that was toughness and defense.
Yeah.
And we had that raised in us.
You had Pat Riley, you had Jeff Van Gundy, like you had defensive minded guys, like they wanted that gritty, like fight. They if you gotta fight, you gotta fight. That's how those teams was back then, man. And it was entertaining to watch.
Yeah, facts. So then you stepped on. Do you remember the way that you felt when you first stepped on the floor at Madison Square Garden? Like,
oh man, I remember walking on and I kind of did a 360 just to kind of like absorb the scenery. And you know, the floor was like a little bouncy, like, and I was like, all right, let's go, let's try to win this. But it was a crazy feeling, man. Like to see it on TV, Madison Square Garden, and to be there in the presence, like it was like a surreal feeling.
Right.
It was great, man.
Right. And wait, did you I know it's bouncy stuff. Did you thinking like, nah, I'm gonna catch a windmill on here, son, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like that on the layup line.
Yeah.
Then when the game started, my legs started kind of a little heavy. I was all right, but I wound up having 18. I was tied for I had 18. Mike Clark had 18. Gary Irvin had 21, and then everybody had less than that. But yeah, I did my thing. I mostly had like layups and free throws. I have pull up jump shot. I ain't hit a 3 that game, but yeah, it was a good game. It was very competitive. You know, we went zone, you know, against Robeson a lot of the time because, you know, there wasn't really a good 3-point shooting team. So we got the element, you know, Robeson was a dog of a team too. They like to get to the hole, defensive team, full court trapping and getting fast breaks. Right. You know, so we had to slow the game down for them, and you know, it worked to our advantage.
Facts. And then so that was your junior year you speaking of, right?
Yeah.
So your junior year, you win the championship in the city. Then you play in Madison Square Garden. So I know that had you so focused for like your senior year. You was ready to dominate because you saw what it could be. And Jerome always tell me this story. Which game was this, right? Jerome was telling me like you had picked somebody's pocket, right, on a fast break. I forgot what game this was. I forgot who you picked. And he said you pulled up for a 3 with like, I don't even think y'all was down 3. Y'all was down like 1 or 2. But you just pull up for like a 3 from deep. What game is he talking about when you did that?
We was down 2, and we against boys and girls. We was playing them at St. Francis High School. So the big game, man. You know, it was packed. You know, newspapers was there, and it was me, Gary Irvin, and Curtis Sumner. Right before that game, we did like a slam shoot. Yeah. Like me and them two were in the like the high school section of the Slam magazine. Right. So I did a shoot real quick. You know, I was chopping up with them, and I went into that game hype. I'm like, yo, I just got in the Slam magazine. I'm about to kill these dudes. So then was doing my thing. You know, they were a really stacked team that year. You know, they had Amadou Falls. They had I forgot the name of the point guard and the shooting guard. They had a really good team, and they had a lot of big men on that team. Yeah. So we were outnumbered with our bigs compared to the bigs. We only had one 6'6" guy. Everybody else was 6'5" and under. Right. You know what I mean? They had a couple 8, 6'6" or 6'9" dude. You know, so I wound up hitting about 6 threes that game, so that helped out a lot. And then, you know, but they still was edging us. I remember it was a couple seconds left, and I kind of was acting like I wasn't paying attention. And the point guard name was Nunu. They call him Nunu. Yeah. Best side dude. He went to Skin Hall. Yeah, so he was dribbling and he wasn't paying attention. So once I saw he wasn't paying attention, I was like, all right, here's my shot. So then I just reached. I swung real hard, slapped the ball, and then he lost it. So then I ran real quick, caught up to it, and I looked back. He wasn't running. So then I was like, I'm going to shoot the 3, and if I miss, I'm going to grab the rebound and lay it up. Right. So then I just checked the three. Once it left my hand, I knew it was good. I ain't even run after it. I just stayed there and went in. My whole team, and the buzzer sound, my whole team jumped all over me. Yo, I was so hyped after that game. And guess what? Went to the Y after that game and worked on my game. Oh,
yes, yo, that's great. This
that work ethic I crazy, man, in high school. I'm not even gonna lie. I look back and I'm like, damn, I don't know how I did it. Like, because it was so much distractions. And, you know, I was able to see the importance of, you know, being consistent and being in the gym. And, you know, the more I did that, the more when the opportunity presented itself, I was always prepared. Especially when I got to college, I brought that same work ethic to college.
Right.
I would make sure after the practice, I put the shooting machine and I would shoot about 500 to 1,000 shots.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And then I would my coach, hey, we traveling to the next city. I need to wake up 7 in the morning. Come get me, take me to the gym. I need to get my shots before we go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I was a little different, man.
Facts, man. That's good to hear. And then let's get into that. So, like I said, your junior year, senior year, you did really good at Grady. But then after you was finished with Grady, you decided to go a different route. So talk about that.
Yeah, after Grady, you know, because I only had 2 years of basketball under my belt. You know, I went in 1 year, and, you know, I heard a lot of people was doing the prep school thing. So that's when I decided, all right, I'm going to do the prep school thing for 1 more year to just prepare when I go to college. You know, I'll be, you know, a year ahead of my class, and I get another year of basketball against better competition.
Right.
Because when you're playing in prep, traveling around the whole country playing against other top prep schools, you know what I mean? So I wound up going to St. Thomas More, one of the best prep schools in Connecticut. And, you know, I led the team in scoring as well with that team. I averaged 21 points. Started at the 2. I played 2-on-1, mostly the 2. They wanted me to shoot. And that experience was great, man, because you're playing a lot of guys that's read classes, so these guys are developed. I felt like I was in college when I was at prep school. So when I got to college, I wasn't as intimidated. I felt like, yo, I've been here already, you know? I played against the older competition, and I held my own.
Right.
So going into my freshman year, I was confident, and I led all freshmen to the score, and I averaged 12.5 coming off the bench, playing only 22 minutes a game, you know?
Right.
Shooting 46% from 3 and about 57% from the field. You know, very efficient. You know, so yeah, that prep school route definitely prepared me, and also too they set me up with college courses. So when I got to college, you know, I was already prepared for that level of schooling. You know what I mean? So that route was a really good route for me to prepare me for the next level.
Right. So after prep school, right? I'm sure you had a couple choices as far as colleges could go, right? So what made you decide to go with Rutgers over any other choices that you had?
Honestly, I was close to signing the Seton Hall of Villanova, but right when I was about to sign with Seton Hall, they signed a guy named Jamal Nutter, a New Jersey player. He's like one of the best New Jersey players. He was playing for the Tim Thomas players. So in my head, I was like, he's from New Jersey. He plays for the #1 AAU team. They're going to cater to him if I come. So I was like, nah, I called him and told him, nah, I'm not interested anymore. They still wanted me even though he committed. So then Villanova was recruiting. And then they signed Alan Ray and Randy Ford. So they told me, we want you, but we want you to go to prep school. I was going to go to prep school anyway, but I didn't want nobody telling me go to prep school because we already. So once they told me go to prep school, they want me to go to prep school in Philly. Then when I'm done, I could get to Villanova. I was like, hell no. I was like, nah, y'all got them. I was like, I want to go to a Big East school so I could play against them, so I could show the coaches like, yo, I'm better than these guys. So, you know, Rutgers started recruiting me late, and, you know, I look at their roster, I was like, this is a team that I could come in and, you know, put my mark right away. You know what I mean? It's no real marquee name. It's no All-American. I could just outplay these guys and just get my position. That's how I looked at it. And I was like, it's 45 minutes from my house,
right,
from Brooklyn. You know, north of Verrazano Bridge. to the Turnpike is 45-minute ride.
Right.
Straight shot down there.
But,
So that played full apart into, me going to Rutgers. So, the way I planned it out, it worked out exactly how I planned out, because I know if I put the work is gonna speak for itself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't cheat the work. If I'm killing everybody in practice, the coach is not gonna close us out. It's a business at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And especially if you don't have to worry about McDonald American. Some coaches try to favor the McDonald American because they come to the school, so you want them to look good, so more McDonald Americans gonna want to come.
Right.
I didn't have to deal with that. I was in a school that was struggling in the Big East for many seasons, so I looked at that like, hey, that's perfect for me. I could, use that platform to showcase my talents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it all fell into place.
Yo, and then what's so crazy, like you said, like you didn't want to go to a school that played the whole political role as far as All-Americans and everything like that.
Thanks.
And yo, I got a crazy story to tell you, because you mentioned the dude Alan Ray. I think Alan Ray's from the Bronx, right? So
from the Bronx. My homie, shout out Alan Ray.
Yeah, that's your homie? Yo, I went to the Bronx, right? One time we was playing in the summer tournament, and I was giving Alan Ray buckets, right? I was killing him. And it was in his hood though. It was in his what's Highsbridge, I think, in the Bronx. And
yeah.
And it was his tournament. And the dude on the mic was like, yo, who's this kid? At the time, I played defense. I was blocked. We only 6'3", but I was punching people's stuff, hitting threes, all that.
You were athletic.
Yeah.
You used to get up.
Yeah, so then next thing you know, I guess his hood got mad because I was showing him out. And they tried to jump me, boy. Like, I had to, like, the whole park, like, so dude was saying, like, I was playing dirty, then the whole park tried to bum rush me and like, try to jump me. Wow, but luckily my teammates, what I'm saying, they stopped it. They ended the tournament. They're like, don't worry about it, fam. We got you. They want me to the train. Like, I had to go. I had to go on the train all the way back to Brooklyn by myself, boy. Like, it was it was crazy. But what I'm saying, it's more stories.
But you can't control when you in the hood. You can't control everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody want to do that because they like, oh, he about to make it. I want to be on his good side. Yo, I'm saying, you got dudes ready to jump out the window being idiots, but a lot of times I don't got nothing to do with the players, you know what I mean?
Right.
I had stuff that happened when people came to my neighborhood and they was going crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I had dudes ready to fight for me, and I'm looking like, yo, chill, it's not that serious.
Yeah, you gotta relax, yeah.
Like, oh.
Right, and you understand that, but like you said, like when people used to come to my hood, when I used to play in Wingate, what I'm saying, they used to call me Kobe in Wingate, and if a dude try to disrespect in Wingate, what I'm saying, they chasing them out of there, what I'm saying. So that's why Rome always say like, nah, boy, I ain't going to Wingate. I don't like going to Wingate. I'm like, you good, boy? You with me? Like, what I'm saying, ain't nothing gonna happen. But yeah, so you didn't play the political game. You went to Rutgers, but I heard something about maybe You might have wanted to go to Hofstra, like, how Woody, because, you was...
Oh, yeah. Because I started playing so late, I wasn't on the radar. When Hofstra was coming to see Woody, they was seeing me in practice, and nobody knew me at the time,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't play AAU. Nobody knew me. Like, my first real exposure to, like, the basketball world was through my high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they had the first dibs on me. So I actually committed to Hofstra even before I played. Even before I played for Grady. Like, when I got on the team, I didn't play a game yet. They came and they was seeing the practice. They was like, yo, we offer you a scholarship. And I was like, shit. A guy, Norman Richardson from Coney Island, was playing for Hofstra, when I was in high school. So,
yeah. And
then Speedy Clark just got drafted 20th pick in the first round out of Hofstra.
Yeah.
So I looked at it like, oh, I was like, Hofstra brought me? A dude just got drafted from Hofstra? I'm like, so then, Tip was like, why you going to Hofstra? A lot of guys from the neighborhood like, Hofstra, like, yo, you could play in the Big East. So I'm like, what's the big? I didn't know the conferences. And all of that. So they explained that to me. They like, I think at the time, Hofstra was in the Colonial Conference or I forgot the American Conference, one of those conferences.
Yeah.
And then, they explained it to me. They was telling me the teams, and I was like, then they was like, yo, the Big East. So that's one of the reasons why I chose Rutgers too, because they was in the Big East. So you was playing against the best competition, and you getting TV. You know, you playing in big gyms, like, you know. So
yeah, you got Georgetown.
I wanted to decommit. Once I understood, I wanted to decommit. Highschool was so pissed. Highschool, and I told my coach, I said, Tip explained it to me, and I want to play. I feel I could play at a higher level.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tip actually told the coach from Highschool, like, hey, Tip. No, my high school coach told the coach from Highschool, Tip told him, you know, it's better conferences. And then the guy, he was mad. He was like, yo, I'm going to break. The coach told me he going to break Tip's legs. And I was like, I looked at him. I was like, all right, that's all I need to hear. I stood up and walked out of the meeting like, I'm good. I was like, I'm happy I ain't choose to go to Highschool. This dude is
crazy.
You acting like that.
He's crazy, yeah.
You go just threaten my people, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and then they still was trying to recruit me. Like, they still was trying to, hey, like, we're sorry. Like, my dad told me, like, rest in peace of my dad. He died in 2018. But my dad told me a couple years ago, he never told me. He was like, Hofstra came. He was, like, fixing the roof. We lived in a townhouse in Coney Island. He was fixing the roof. He's like, Hofstra came to the house, came on the roof with him and was helping him, the coaches, was helping him lay the roof and telling him, please, yo, tell your son come to Hofstra.
Mm-hmm.
And my son, my dad told him, hey, it's my son's decision. Because my dad didn't really have a part in my career. They didn't really support the basketball.
Yeah.
So they told me, hey, you do it, and you make your decision. You got to live with it.
Right.
You know, so they never pressured me to, oh, you got to go here. Or, you know, so they told the coach. So my dad was like, yeah, I just told the coach, like, yo, I can't force him to come here. If he want to come, he'll come. If he don't want to come, there's nothing I could do.
Facts.
And then he said that he left it alone, and they even offered to give my sister a scholarship to come to Highschool if I recommitted.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, this is my dream. Like, I don't know what my sister want to do. I don't want to bring her along and babysit her. Like, you know. So yeah, once I understood, you know, I made the conscious decision to go to a bigger conference and play against better competition. But no knock to Highschool. Highschool is still a great university.
Yeah.
You know, they play in a good league. You know, so
but yeah, just like the NBA players today, like, you know, they you had to take control of your career. Like, it was no disrespect to Hofstra, but you saw a better opportunity for yourself, and they shouldn't have took that personal. You know, as a young man, you want to put yourself in the best opportunity where you think that you can meet your dreams and your goals. And you chose that you wanted to go to the Big East. You know there was Georgetown. Of course, you heard about Georgetown, St. John's University, Rutgers, Villanova. You got to play against all these dudes. So you say, you know what? If I put my numbers up against them, you know. Yeah. So like, once you got to Rutgers, right? What was it like? You know, at Rutgers, as far as the Big East competition, like night in. Like the competition, the different players that maybe some people might know that you played against, and how did you do?
Man, Rutgers was a great experience, man, and the basketball was great. The competition level was on another level, and it was very physical. The refs didn't blow the whistle, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, you had to just make the shot, like with the contact, you know what I mean? So, you know, I got to play against guys like, you know, Allen Ray, Randy Ford. Yeah. You know, you got Ben Gordon.
Connecticut.
You had Charlie Villanueva.
Yeah.
You had you had Showtime that was at St. John's.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
like Ingram. Yeah, you had some top players, man. The Big East was stacked. We was the #1 conference in the country when I was in at Rutgers. You know, they always said Big East was #1. We always had about 6 to 7 teams in the NCAA tournament, and then about another 5 teams in the NIT. You know? Yeah. Because the level of players and play that the Big East had, you know, we always made it far and, you know, win a lot of championships.
Right. So at your years at Rutgers, right? What was the game or a couple of games that you knew, like, yeah, I belong here, and I think I could take this to the next level? Like, what was the game when you felt like, nah, boy, these boys, they can't stop me. I'm built for this.
My junior year when I had 41 against, I had 41s against Syracuse.
Okay.
Yeah, at the carry zone. You know, they play that zone, and I was just hot. Yeah, so I was, and they was extending the zone, but my range was so deep that, you know, once I took one step over half court, I was
letting
pulling.
it go. Yeah.
So people don't see Syracuse go man, so they actually had to get out the zone. They played the whole second half of the game man to man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was a little better like that because they could just face guard me and have two guys on me.
Right.
And you know, not a zone no more. Now you just basically focusing on this one guy. So, but we should have won. We should have beat them. But we was up by one. They had a dude, a 4-man. He hit a 3 at the buzzer and beat us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this dude never hits no 3. He probably hit 3 threes his whole 4-year career.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he hit that 3 to beat us. And, you know, that still put a bad taste in my mouth still to this day.
Right. But you was used to it, man. You being very generous right now on the way they was playing defense with you. Quincy, you know, since high school, they've been playing boxing ones. You used to one guy chasing you all over the court. So when you went against Syracuse, they didn't show you anything that you wasn't used to. Like your whole life, they've been trying to play.
It's a little different compared to high school because the players are a little physically bigger, faster, and you got coaching. Like Jim Boeheim is a legendary coach.
Yeah, facts.
So the strategies are more crisp and more to the point. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was a little harder, but like I said, I always I had a good work ethic. I always put time into my shot, into my game. So, you know, anytime I was open, I was so locked in that I was gonna hit the shot if I was open, for sure.
Right. So you dropped that 41 to Syracuse, and then you knew from then. What made you decide, like, all right, man, I think this is it, man. I want to go to the NBA, you know, and I'm gonna put my name in the draft.
I mean, I was in the NIT my junior year, so we had 2 games in the NIT, and I scored. We played Penn State. I scored about 30, 34, and then we went to St. Joe's. We lost to them, but I had 28. So, and these was against good teams. You know what I mean? Like they had stacked teams, good coaching. So, you know, after the NIT, you know, I sat down with my peoples and, you know, I felt I couldn't duplicate that year that I just had.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I led the Big East in scoring. I averaged 27 points my junior year. I got all the accolades. I made first team all Big East. It's like, why come back from my senior year? It don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I don't think I'm going to do as good. I can't duplicate this year. So I wound up deciding to put my name in the draft, even though, you know, my college didn't want me to, you know. It's a business, you know. I would sell out. We was selling out me just being at the school, even though we wasn't making big noise. We wasn't like on the top of the conference, but we was in the middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, fans love 3-point shooting, especially from super deep. So we were out at Rutgers. So, you know, they made a lot of money with me. So they didn't want me to go my last year. They was like, hey, stay. Like, you know, they was telling me I could do better. And, you know, I just didn't see it. So I was like, you know, thank you for the opportunity. But, you know, I think it's time for me to, you know, just start the next chapter in my life. So, you know, that's when I decided, you know, to put my name in the draft. And, you know, I wound up leaving school and I hired a personal trainer. Mm-hmm. And I was just training to the draft.
And then you was focused, right? So then that night, do you remember, that was 2006?
Yeah, 2006.
2006. Do you remember the night, was you there at the, was it in?
I got invited, but my mom's wound up inviting so many people that I just was like, nah, I'm good, and people will be upset. And so I just wound up having at my high school coach house in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. And just invited a whole bunch of friends and family. Right. And we just watched on TV and we was talking GM and other agents on the phone while the draft was going on. So that's where we had it at my high school coach house. Right.
And just tie, you know, I like to tie things into the Knicks, right? So as far as the Knicks go, if you know Obi Toppin, for you guys that don't know, Obi Toppin actually played for the same coach that we played for, which is Tippy. So Tippy, Tippy was training Obi Toppin and all of that too. And everybody saw when he got drafted the emotion that he felt, because he was from Brooklyn. He got to play for the New York Knicks, and he was very excited. You didn't get drafted by the New York Knicks, but tell them, the feeling you had when they called your name, and like the emotion and the experience, like the whole thing.
Select Quincy Douby.
I mean, it's crazy because for a kid like me, I never thought in a million years that it would happen. Even though I worked, I always in the back of my head, like, I know I could go overseas and do it. But the league, I don't know. So when I got drafted, it was like a surreal feeling. It was like, yo, is this a dream? Like, it was crazy. It was like, and even my parents, see the love I had, but they didn't even expect me to get, drafted in the first round.
Right.
And it was just great, able to, buy my parents a house, change my life, send my brother to the private school, help my family out. I was able to do a lot with the money that I was able to make, playing NBA. So, it was, man, still thinking about it, man, it's crazy, man.
Like a dream come true, right? I know it's like, somebody wake me up, right?
For real, man. Huh?
I said it was like a dream come true. It was like, yo, somebody wake me up.
Yeah, no, for real. I woke up, I had to take a flight to Sacramento the next day after the draft. I woke up I'm like, yo, I really got drafted. They like, yo, they put it on ESPN. They showing the draft. They showing me. I'm like, oh man, crazy.
And the whole hood was so happy, bro. Like me, Jerome, everybody was like, yo, Quincy got drafted, boy. Like we was always very excited for you, boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, son, we seen the hard work. We played with you, like, in the Bedford YMCA in different tournaments, West Fourth, whatever. Show me what you got. All them tournaments they used to have in Brooklyn. Like, you know what I'm saying? We played that and we like, boy, he really made it. It was just like, of course we seen like Marbury and, and all the other dudes made it, but like, we didn't practice with Marbury. We didn't play with Marbury. We didn't feel the same pain that he felt. Like, so when you made it, it was just like, yeah, boy, Quincy, like that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? So we was all excited.
That's love, man.
Yeah, like, we was all excited.
Yeah, man. Shout out to everybody, man. Everybody was showing me love in New York, man.
So it was just a great moment. So now you get drafted right to the Sacramento Kings. Do you remember like your rookie year, like the changes you had to make from? Of course, you had to make a change from high school to college because college is a level above that. Then the NBA is a totally different level. Like the changes you had to make, and who helped you with that? Like who was your vet on the team, like that helped you out a little bit when you got to Sacramento?
Yeah, my vet on the team, was Mike Bibby, Kevin Martin, those got Brad Miller. But when I got to Sacramento, it was a very dysfunctional situation. Adelman just got fired after I got drafted. So we got a new coach. Adelman drafts me, and then we get a coach that Adelman likes smaller guards that could shoot, that could score. He don't play with a traditional. But then he gets fired, and then they hire a guy that he wants traditional point guards. And he looked at me like, I don't know how to use you, so I need you to be a traditional point guard. And I couldn't make the adjustments quick enough, you know what I mean? Because right after he left, he wound up getting fired, and I got another coach. I was there 3 seasons. I had a different coach every season, you know what I'm saying? And every coach I had at that point wanted me to be a pass first point guard, you know what I mean? So I kind of lost the love for the game a little bit. I was like, I was going to other situations where, they knew my game, so they was kind of put me in situations to where I could flourish. But, when I got to the league, it was more like, I don't need you to shoot. I need you to run the sets, and, it would be butting heads. I didn't like that shot right there, and I'm a guy, like, I take these shots, you know what I'm saying? That's my game. Like, that's why I got drafted.
Right.
That's what I was doing. But when the coach, when I miss one shot, the first shot, and he's, in my ear, it's kind of making you look over the, so it was a situation like that. And, I wound up going to Toronto. I wound up getting waived, and I signed with Toronto. And then, I saw it was going to be a situation like that. It was a new coach. And mind you, when I was in Sacramento, all the coaches I had was first-year head coaches.
Right.
So then I stopped with Toronto, and this Toronto coach is the first-year head coach as well. So I saw what was about to happen. And, you know, now that I'm a little smarter, I would have been on my agent more like, yo, trade me. I wasn't really on him. I was really more like looking for him to do it and not on him.
Right.
I was looking for him to make moves. But, yeah, it was a situation where I should have got out of there, got on a team where it fits more my game, and I would have been more in a rotation. I could play my game, play freely. But I don't know, I was just waiting for something to happen. And when it didn't happen, and then when I got to Toronto, I saw the same thing was about to happen. I was like, I had a guaranteed 1-year contract for the minimum, like $950,000, which is nothing to an NBA team. So I called my agent. I was like, yo, can you tell him just waive me out? Let me go overseas, man. I can't just be sitting on the bench another year. Like, I'm about to go crazy.
Because you start to lose your love for the game. Like, I mean, yeah. Some people look at it as some people looking at it as you making money, but you looking at it as I'm a competitor. I want to play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I needed to play because basketball is my therapy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't sit the whole time and just watching the game and I come in for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So he like, all right, you know, he called, they did him a favor, they cut me, gave me all my money, cut me, and then I wound up going to Turkey. And then I got put in a situation, they knew my game. So they put me back in my natural situation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where we need to score, shoot, wherever you want, play your game.
right.
And then I started lurching, I started getting the love back, I started being motivated again. And, you know, it was a situation where I had, you know, some teams trying to get me back to the league, but I never cared about the league, about the fame and all of that. I just loved the game, and, you know, if I could make some money out of it, it's love too. But I never was chasing, you know, that NBA logo to you know, be in the league. You know, so when I got the opportunity to go back, I didn't go. I just, you know, I signed a long-term deal in China, you know, where I was making good money, but, you know, I could just play my game, and, you know, I didn't have to worry about the politics really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was why I decided to take that route, and I just stuck with it until done.
Right. So look, Dan, you touch a whole lot of subjects that I like to talk about on this show here, right? Because one of the reasons why I bring you guys on here is to give an inside scoop, because a lot of the times, you know, I'm in these Knicks chats, you know what I'm saying, because I run Knicks@Night.TV, so I'm in these Knicks chats, and I just see the way they talk about the players. And, you know, we've been through the grind. Like I said, you know, we from waking up 6 o'clock in the morning, we played against NBA players, overseas players, street ball players, all type of competition. And sometimes I don't like the way that the fans disrespect players, like as far as calling them bums, for example. Like, they don't know your journey, right? So they might say, well, Quincy Douby, what did he do in the NBA? He's not that good. And I'll be the one like, boy, are you crazy? Like, do you know how nice he is? Just don't get it twisted. Like, they don't know that everything has to be perfectly in place in order for you to be the man in the NBA, right? Whether it be your contract, whether it be your coach. Like, if your coach is not feeling you, or he's not running the plays for you, or it's not a good match as far as your game goes, whether it be, like, you always have to, even though the coach is putting you in the game, but he's subbing you out for every mistake. Now, it's messing with your head. Like, basketball is all about confidence, right? So, you know what I'm saying? If you don't have that confidence, or you don't have that love anymore because you feel like this is not fun anymore, this is like, I'm actually getting frustrated every time I step on a court. You know what I'm saying? So I just like to get the inside scoop from everybody that, you know, I grew up with and I played with, because I just want the fans to understand, like, you can't go say Quincy Douby is a bum. You can't go say Jabari Parker is a bum. You can't go say, like, you know, Sebastian Telfair is a bum. Like, these dudes be reckless with their mouth, you know what I'm saying? Just because they think, like, he ain't killing the NBA, so he's automatically a bum. I'm like, I guarantee you, right, this person that you calling a bum, if they built the team around Quincy Douby, or they built the team around Sebastian Telfair, they put in the work. I know it from my own eyes. They put in the work. They get players surrounding them that, you know, fits their game, and they got a system. They will, I'm not saying they will be superstars, but they will be legitimately in the NBA for numerous years. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, for example, for you, do you feel like maybe you was born in the wrong era? Because when you look at today's NBA game, right? This is like Quincy Douby NBA game.
It's the perfect, yeah. I mean, yeah, but you had some teams that play like this, but very slim. Like 3 teams when I was in the league play like this. So when I look back, I'm like, you know, if I was more on it and I had a better team, you know, my parents really, even when I became a professional, my parents still was like, yo, make your decision, and you know, they didn't really want no parts of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to make every decision on my own. You know what I
Right.
mean? So yeah, well, it gets tough, you know what I mean?
So when you're watching, like,
you know, making a decision, then getting in the right situation. Like, a lot of times, too, when you look at some teams, you have players that look really good, then when they leave this situation, they don't look as good because the coach don't play you know, they force them to play a game that's not their game. You know what I mean? It's only certain players, like, you got Kobe, LeBron, that could play any system. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But some other people, they need to be like, you can't tell a guy that's a scorer you need to be a traditional point guard. Like,
right.
That's what they was constantly. I need to be a traditional point guard. Like, and I'm like, are you telling me to be a traditional point guard because you just don't want to play me? Like, you know what I mean? Because I'm not a traditional point guard. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know like, I'm a guy, like, I get it going. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right.
So, but
And it's crazy because now, like I said, in today's NBA now, most teams want their point guard to be able to shoot. Like, if you can't shoot as a point guard,
absolutely,
it's kind of like, damn, you're a handicap now. Like, for example, let's get into the Knicks. Like Alfred Payton, a lot of the reasons he's a good penetrator, but his jump shot is broke, right? So that's why a lot of the times
it was perfect for that. Perfect for that league. He probably would have did real good on the Kings, like playing that type style of game.
Right. Right, but now they looking for, like, you watch Damian Lillard, Stephen Curry, like Jamal Murray on Denver. Like, these are the type of players that, like how you play. So maybe if you was in today's NBA, you know, you were having a great career. But like you said, that's all water under the bridge now because you just wanted to play ball. You didn't care what logo was on the jersey. You cared about having fun, enjoying life, and hopefully, you know, making money for your family.
Right, that was therapy for me, man. Basketball was therapy. It was more than just fame, lights, camera, action, and money. It was therapy. It was therapeutic. I enjoyed it, man.
Right. So, let me ask you a question because let's get into the Knicks right now. So, right now the Knicks got 2 players from Brooklyn. I think they both played with Tippy, to be honest with you. You got Obi Toppin from Brooklyn, then you got Taj Gibson. Do you remember Taj Gibson growing up?
Yeah.
So
I know Taj. I don't know him well, but I know him, seeing him in Brooklyn playing against him.
Right. I think yeah, Taj was in Brooklyn, but like I said, I hardly saw him too, so I don't know if he went to Cali at a young age or whatever like that. But he went to USC, right?
He went to USC. He went to prep school for a couple of years. He wasn't really in the New York City basketball circuit because I heard when he was in school he was ineligible. Then he went to prep school young.
Right.
You know, because that's why he went to school at USC.
Right. So now Taj is a veteran on the New York Knicks, playing under Coach Tom Thibodeau, another defensive coach. Reminds you of, you know, the old time Knicks, you know, one of your favorite eras of basketball. And, you know, how do you feel about that? Now, the Knicks actually have the number 1 defense in the NBA. So it's going back to the era that you enjoy with Charles Oakley and Charlie Ward. And how do you feel about... matter of fact, let's talk real quick. Let's talk about Obi Toppin, right? Because I think he's going through the same struggles as far as the system not fitting him. Okay, so he did good in college. Number 1 player in college. He went to Dayton. But now that he's on the Knicks, you know, you got Julius Randle who's going crazy, like having his career year. But Obi Toppin is backing him up. He gets in the game now for maybe like 5 to 6 minutes a game. He looks like, you know, he's confused or he doesn't know what to do out of there. Like, you know, can you just express what you think, like through your experience, what you think Obi Toppin is going through right now?
Look, all I gotta say is this. Look, you see Amari Stoudemire?
Yeah.
You see the system he was in?
Right.
How dominant did he look?
Facts, because he had a point guard that pushed the pace. He had the floor spread open with shooters.
And he didn't have to create his own thing. He was getting it where he's a high flyer, short mid-range. Now, a lot of teams want you to create your own thing. They're like, yo, with traditional point, we don't got that's gonna get you the ball. We need you to get your own bucket if you can. Right. And like I said, that's another example of not being in the right system, not being in the right fit. Like, eventually, I think when he keep working on his game, man, he have confidence to go one-on-one. He could play in that type of system, any system. But right now, he's a specific system player. Like, like he get on a team where it's high flying and he could just use his athleticism and speed. He's gonna look like a totally different player. He's gonna look like an all-star. You know what I'm saying? Because his game is not isolations and backing down. So I watched him in college. He was a guy that he gets out on a break. He got a guy that's dumping it down to him. He's rising up, dunking.
Yeah, facts.
So, but I
when he comes in the game, they looking for more scoring. So when he's shooting the ball, he's getting more minutes than Obi Toppin because he could create for himself. While Obi Toppin can't create for himself, so Obi Toppin he gets subbed out quick and quickly gets more minutes. And that's just to show you different paths of a rookie where, like you said, in your situation, they wasn't looking for you to score. They was looking for you to pass. So that's why you getting subbed out the game as soon as they put you in because you're not doing what the coach is looking for you to do. You know what I'm saying? But that's not your game. But I just want the fans to understand. That's why I have this show to let them get to understand, from a basketball player's point of view and not just crazy like you sitting there saying like, oh, he didn't make a shot, so he missed 5 or he's a bum, or he's nice, or he didn't play on this team, or he didn't, I just want them to understand basketball IQ.
That's fans though. I don't even pay attention to fans. Half the time I agree when I don't even want to agree because you're gonna be debating for hours. When you play, you know the answers, and a lot of these people they don't know nothing. They just wanna degrade people and like, oh, they not good. But it's all good. Comes with it, man. It comes with the game, man. Yeah. I never paid attention to playing in these big arenas. I'm reading in the newspaper, seeing things on the internet. None of that bothered me. Because at the end of the day, I love playing basketball. So all of that override everything else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So all right, good. I wasn't even going to ask you this question, but since you brought that up, it made me think about something real quick. So obviously, the team from our borough, I don't take them as a Brooklyn team. I take them as a Jersey team because, they got the same name, I'm from Brooklyn and I love Brooklyn to the heart, but I'm always going to be a diehard Knicks fan. But, right now they got Kevin Durant, they got Kyrie Irving, they got LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin. They got like the Monsters, you know what I'm saying? And you were just talking about not paying attention to the fans. How do you feel how do you get in a person's head, like, for example, like Kevin Durant? Like, why do you think, like you said, you can't pay attention to, why do you think he responds to fans and make burner accounts and have arguments with people on the computer? Is it because he's frustrated with their point of view and he don't understand? Like, why do you think he does things like that?
Everybody's different. That probably some people take stuff more personally than others. You know what I mean? I just experienced a different life before basketball. A lot of these dudes play basketball since they was like 2 years old, so all they know is basketball. So a lot of their like their mental is they not as mentally strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like when you see what I've seen and been through what I've been through, like hearing that is nothing. I'm like, I'm not gonna be hurt. I'm not gonna get killed. It's just words. Like I don't even care.
You don't
like,
care.
At the end of the day. I had people say some bad stuff about me, and I'm not that good. And I'm like, man, like I'm playing. I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to stay out of jail. Like, like, do you feel good that you told me I'm not good? What you want me to stop and be in the streets? Like, come on, man, cut it up. Like, So a lot of times you just got to ignore it, man, because these people trying to get a reaction,
and everybody's not gonna
love nothing to do. So, and it's a lot of it too. It's their job to talk. It's their job to critique. You know what I'm saying? With the media, that's what they get paid to do. So you got to understand that it's a business. Sometimes the fans think it's for real, but it's a business.
A lot of clickbait,
You
like
know?
you said. You get people like, I don't even, like on ESPN, I'm not going to name the people on ESPN, but they make these outrageous comments and stuff about certain players and stuff, and it's just for you to tune in and to watch. You know what I'm saying? It's, when me and you have conversation, it's more about the IQ of the game, strategically, like different things that's going on. When they talk about the game, it's more as I want people to watch what I'm saying. Yeah, I might say like this dude is. It might just to be funny. Like I want people to laugh. You see what I'm saying? So I might say something outrageous for people to laugh or people to tune in and watch. But now to switch up the subject real quick. Just back to the Knicks real quick. The conclusion I wanted to know is about the Knicks. How do you see them finishing out the year? And do you think they're gonna make noise in the playoffs? Do you think they're gonna miss the playoffs? Like, what are your prediction for the Knicks for the rest of the year?
Honestly, how Julius Randle is playing, I think they're gonna make the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
I think they have a shot. They got a vet, Rose, who's been playing with Tom Thibodeau, so he knows the system like the back of his hand, which is gonna help, and he's gonna help the younger guys figure it out.
Right.
So I think they gonna make the playoffs, but I think they're gonna lose in the first round. Mm-hmm. But I think they're gonna have something to work with. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody expected them to do what they're doing now. You know what I'm saying? So I think making the playoffs will be good for the young guys, getting their confidence, good for some of the stars, and then you add some pieces, and then you just try to take another level next year.
Right. Exactly.
You know, until you could get enough pieces. You know, that team is good, but you know when you got teams that got 3-4 All-Stars.
Yeah.
You got one All-Star. You need at least two more. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think if they could get Lonzo Ball, you get another guy in there with Julius, then you know the other core players.
Yeah.
Like quickly.
Yeah.
You know, continue to develop.
RJ Barrett.
I think the Knicks is gonna be able to make some noise, man. The Knicks need to start getting some players there, man. Like it's no reason why Madison Square Garden can't get no studs in there, man.
Right. Right now. Yeah, right now they changing the culture. So this is the first step. You make the playoffs. You show that you're a team that competes, and then eventually, the stars will come. Right now, like you said, they got Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Quickly. Those are they three, players, and then you build around that.
Other guy, yeah. I think he gonna develop in a good play. He taking longer than I want. Mm-hmm. But I think eventually he's gonna be an all-star. Yeah,
he reminds me a little bit of Jimmy Butler, a little bit. RJ Barrett, his game.
Right.
So other than that, man, that's yeah. Well, I just want to say my opinion. I feel like I agree with you as far as the Knicks making the playoffs. I think it depends on what seeding they get as far as if they get eliminated from the first round or not. Excuse me. Right now, I think they seeded at 5th. So I believe like if they stay at 5th and that's going to be the 4-5 matchup, right? So the 4-5 matchup would be with like maybe like the Atlanta Hawks or like maybe the Miami Heat or one of those teams. I think there's a possibility they could beat one of those teams. But if they slide down to like 6, 7, 8, then it's a wrap.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they're gonna match up with Philly or one of them teams.
Yeah, Philly, Boston, or Milwaukee, right? I mean, not Philly, Brooklyn, or Milwaukee. Yeah, I don't think they could beat any of those teams. But the rest of the bottom feeders, I think they have a chance there. But thank you again, Quincy, once again for coming on my show, boy. Tell the fans where they can find you at if they want to, hit you up, or if you do anything like, life after. Tell them like what you're doing after life after basketball. You got anything that you want to promote right now?
Yeah. I'm just doing investment properties right now. I got a few Airbnbs in Miami, so that's what I'm doing right now full time, and I'm taking classes, trying to finish my degree so I can get into coaching work when I'm done with this degree. So. That's what I'm doing right now. Shouts out to you. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yes,
sir. Been knowing you since high school. All love, man. Glad you're doing good. You married now. Continue to do your thing.
You too, brother.
So, Yeah, love, man. When I come to New York, man, we go link up, man.
Definitely, man. And when I come to Miami, I'll be in Miami all the time. So, you know.
Yeah, when you holler at me, man. Hit me up.
Definitely.
I'll come scoop you, man. We hang out.
All right, no doubt, my brother. Once again, thank you for having me on the show. This is Knicksatnitetv. You could catch me on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I don't know. Q ain't tell you his Instagram, so maybe he don't want y'all to bother him. So we gonna
yeah, nah. Instagram. Do believe. DOUBYLIEVE.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody can follow me, man. Show me love, man.
No doubt, bro. All right, Q, man.